All right, everybody, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a look at public contracts, specifically in the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I bet a lot of you out there are businesses maybe thinking about, expanding. And for you, this information is really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about how to actually find and win these public contracts. And we've got a ton of resources here, legal documents. We've got databases. We even have, some insider tips.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to get into all of it with our expert.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here and share what I know about this.
All right, so let's start with the basics here.
Okay.
What are the ground rules when it comes to these public contracts?
Well, the foundation of everything is the Public Procurement Act.
Okay.
And this act ensures that there's a level playing field for everyone bidding, including foreign companies. Now, one interesting thing about this act is it actually requires that all the bid documents are in Czech.
Oh, wow.
So no one has a language advantage.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very specific. And then on top of that, it mandates transparency and, of course, equal opportunities when it comes to these public tenders.
Okay.
And then to kind of lay it all out and really spell out how all this information gets published, we have Decree No. 116-20-116 call.
Okay, so that's pretty extensive.
Yeah.
So we've got this, legal framework in place, but where do we even go to find these contract opportunities? Where do we begin?
Well, that's where the Public Procurement Bulletin comes in.
Okay.
This is kind of the central hub for everything.
Yeah.
And it's where all the notices about procurement procedures are published. And this is how they ensure that everybody has a fair shot. You can kind of think of it like the official announcement board for public contracts in Czech Republic.
I would assume most countries have something similar to that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there anything unique about the Czech Republic's bulletin?
It is similar to a lot of other systems out there, but one thing that's really interesting is just the sheer volume and variety of contracts that you'll actually find there. It's not just these huge infrastructure projects. You'll find everything from like IT services all the way down to office supplies.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty interesting.
Okay, so we've got the legal framework, we've got the central bulletin. What else should companies kind of be aware of when they're looking into this?
Well, I'll tell you this much. The savvy companies out there, they go beyond just the bulletin.
Oh, okay.
There are commercial information systems out there that aggregate and analyze all this data on public contracts. And this can be really useful information. Like they might give you insights into which companies have won similar contracts before or which contracting authorities are really active in your specific sector. This can be a real game changer for serious bidders.
It's really interesting now with these commercial systems.
Yeah.
Is that something that's mainly used by, large corporations, or is this beneficial to, smaller businesses as well?
It really can be helpful for businesses of all sizes. Some of these systems even offer, customized alerts that are really tailored to your needs.
Yeah.
It's true that usually there's some kind of registration or subscription fee, but you got to think of it as an investment. Not just a cost.
Yeah, like you're hiring a whole research team to just
exactly
look for these things for you. So we've got the bulletin, we've got commercial systems, and I would imagine that some institutions also publish information, independently.
You're absolutely right. Some state institutions do publish contracts directly on their websites, so it can be sort of an extra layer to your search, but definitely worth checking out, especially if you're targeting specific organizations.
Yeah, that's a lot of information to keep track of. I mean, any tips for navigating all of this efficiently?
Oh, yeah, for sure. One of the best tips I heard was just focus your efforts. Regularly check the profile of a particular contracting authority. Or, check the public procurement system or a central information system. This is going to be so much better than just endlessly clicking through, dozens of websites.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening, just clicking and clicking and clicking. But beyond the online world, are there any offline strategies that might give a company an edge?
Yeah. Building those relationships with contracting authorities can be incredibly valuable.
Okay.
It's not just about the online stuff. Attending industry events or even just contacting those authorities directly to express your interest can really make you stand out. Remember, these are people who are making decisions. And a personal connection can go a long way.
Yeah, it's all about, being proactive, building that trust.
Exactly.
Not just relying on these formal channels. That's a fantastic tip. So, let's bring it all together now.
Okay.
For our listeners out there who are ready to explore, the Czech public procurement market, what are the key takeaways?
All right. So number one, make sure you understand that legal framework. You got to make the Public Procurement Bulletin your new best friend. and explore those additional resources that we talked about. And don't forget, this market is really open to foreign competition, so don't be afraid to just jump in.
That's really good advice. Now, this has been incredibly insightful, but before we let you go, I want to leave our listeners with this final thought.
Okay.
We talked about the official channels and everything, but how else could you maybe use publicly available data to anticipate upcoming contracts? And maybe looking at infrastructure plans, economic trends, things like that. Just something to think about as you dive deeper into this market.
Yep.
And a huge thank you to our expert for sharing their expertise.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.